What up? What up? Episode 118 of the Beefy Boys breakdown, going over the legendary pound for pound title on the line card of UFC 284, Volkanovski versus Makhachev. But here on the Beefy Boy breakdown, we go over every fight, every week, every card. So we're going to start off with the early prelims because nobody else does, but we put in that time and effort for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, first fight on the card here, if I can get my notes brought up, is going to be. Oh
We
my
got
goodness.
Elvis Brenner.
Yeah, there it is.
Making his debut at a plus 430 dog, only 25 years old, lightweight division against Jabara Tukagov, who I believe came up from 145 and still missed weight. That's kind of interesting when that happens. But this fight gave us a lot to talk about. Got the weird weight miss up a weight class, so that's probably just not a good look. We got a guy making his debut, and we got some real screwy scorecards. I have a hot take, everyone else's takes, that if you think the Volk Islam decision was the most controversial decision of the night, you're a casual.
Oh yeah, this was by far the biggest robbery I've seen in a long time. So much so that all of the commentators were essentially saying like, "Wow, can't believe this is the result we're getting here. Can't believe this is what we're seeing." You know, that type of a commentary, which you never get.
Was it Cruz and Bisping? Cruz and Bisping, they went in. They went kind of hard after this one.
Which, I mean, rightfully so, though, right? Because, I mean, let's dive into it. Let's see how we scored it. Let's talk about how we scored it, and then we can get into whether or not it was a robbery, in fact. I think that would make more sense to the audience at home, too.
Totally, yeah. So, I mean, round one I do have as like pretty much being the only round that I found kind of hard to score. I did think round one was kind of close, kind of up in the air, if you will. So, not rolling out any hills over round one in specifically, but I did give it to Turkagov 10-9. I thought he landed the cleaner, harder shots. Those left hooks were there for days. However, Brenner was able to, cut Tukagov with an elbow, got the jab off, got some leg kicks off. So it was a weird kind of juxtaposition of how you define damage because one guy had a cut, but I would argue that Tukagov actually got more damage off landing those big bombs. It's just sometimes guys cut, sometimes they don't, but it can be weird for the eye test.
So it's funny because I pretty much agree with you, except that I did score it for Brenner based on the cut. I thought the 2 or 3 impactful strikes that he landed were the biggest moments of that round. Now, granted, they both were trading, and Tukagov won the volume, I think, probably by a lot, I would say. I just thought on damage from that cut that I gave it to Brenner. Now, I did put that was an extremely close round, and depending on how you liked it. And I also would say that Brenner had some good leg kicks that round. That I was here for leg kicks last night. I was all here for leg kicks.
And the jab was pumping. No, Brenner did a lot of good work, got a lot of damage off. I think we did a good job laying out both. Like I said, round one kind of up in the air. You can go either way. I think we just illustrated that. Now, rounds 2 and 3, like I legitimately don't have the word close. I don't have the word competitive in my notes. I don't have the word coin toss in my notes. Like I thought rounds 2 and 3 had a clear winner, really not up for debate. Round 2 was everything Tukagov did good in round 1. He did more of it in round 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The crisp punches to the head. And you said he had good volume in round 1, where he had even more volume in round 2 and was landing at, I think, a higher clip. So, I mean, anything that you liked about what Tukagov did in round 1, he did more of it and a better job of it in round 2. I thought round 2 was pretty clear-cut. Tukagov, 10-9.
So I agree with you there, man. I thought Tukagov did a good job that round of finding more success striking while also avoiding more of the counter strikes and the leg kicks that he was eating in round 1.
Yes.
I thought he also controlled where the fight took place as far as the exchanges and kind of took control of the pace. So, like, I liked everything about round 2 for Tukagov. I didn't think it was necessarily close at all. Brenner sure landed some shots, but I thought Tukagov landed more shots, landed harder shots. Overall, I had it tied 1-1 after this. Tukagov winning round 2.
And I think that's fair. I have a 2018 Tukagov, but honestly, I think Tukagov's strategy in round 3 proves that him and his corner agree with you. Because they switched up the strategy and did like a grappling heavy approach in round 3 to kind of seal the deal and win the round. kind of indicates that they thought it may have been 1-1 as well. So all fair play there. But yeah, as I alluded to, round 3, Tukagov kind of has a more clinch, takedown, heavy approach.
Has almost 3.5 minutes of control.
Yeah, he took his back standing. So, I mean, it was kind of snoozy. It wasn't a ton of damage. It looked very different than the other 2 rounds. But I don't see how you could give that round to Brenner. Like, Brenner,
absolutely not. It was a very Dillashaw versus Sandhagen without any Sandhagen damage. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think there was a question that the control and the damage being negligibly different. You have to give it to Tukagov.
No, I agree, man. And then, so one judge ends up with 29-28 Brenner, which I can't really even make an argument for it because, like I said, round 3, he got controlled the whole round. Round 2, he got very clearly outstruck. If you want to give him round 1, sure, no problem with it. I just don't. What round? What was the second round they gave him? Was it 2 or 3?
Okay, so here's what's crazier, bro. One judge had it 30-27 for
Brenner. I know. Whenever he said 30-27, as a guy who scored at 30-27,
yeah, I thought Tukagov too. I was like, oh,
I was like,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so then
the judge that gave it 2, I'm curious about, because the judge that gave it 3, it's just pure crackpot, like whatever. Well, you can throw the whole scorecard out.
All 3 judges gave Brenner 3.
Gave Brenner 3.
I can't see that. I can't get it.
Because don't get me wrong, there's plenty of negative things you can say about what Tukagov chose to do in round 3. Okay, fine, fair enough. It was snoozy, it was safe, it wasn't a lot of damage. What did Brenner do? Like,
one spinning back fist. I have one note for a good spinning back fist he landed, and that was it.
I mean, that's tough. I mean, I guess you could make a real lawyer ball argument that he won the damage that round, but that's tough, man. And then, yeah, the judge that gave him all 3. Now, no judges agreed with me. So, I mean, that's fair play. I guess I don't have too much of a leg to stand on, but I also don't think my scorecard's too out of
no judge agreed with me because I gave him 2 and 3 and not 1, and the judge that gave him 29-28 gave him 1 and 2 and not 3.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I don't know, man.
Robbery, pure robbery.
It was a robbery, bro. And this was the only one on my 6-legger that I didn't hit. That was great. It was 4 fucking pennies, but it was still salty. The other 5 on my 6-legger all hit, which is hard to do. Even they were all heavy favorites, and I didn't get a good return, but it's still hard to do.
I missed so many bets by one fight. Like, honestly, if Minifield Crute has I don't want to give it away, but if that result isn't what it is, and it's just anything else, I win at least one of them. Salt.
Yeah, that one was weird. Yeah, no, we laid a lot of cheddar and brought home all the dicks.
A lot of dicks.
All the dicks. But, yeah, so Brenner gets the decision win, plus 430 to whoever the gambling gods decided to hand.
Yeah, I mean, my God. Talk about a rigging. Giving him round 3 unanimously is absurd. That's crazy.
Really weird. It's really weird. And it honestly, it's kind of sound weird to say, it kind of sucks for Brenner, too. Because he has a win, but he has no respect for Mike.
Oh, that's the most UFC BS fighters. Win of all time.
They all think that's Fugaze, and even probably his own friends might think it's Fugaze. Like, you know what I mean? You're happy.
Yeah, even your team's watching the film, well.
yeah, well, all right. But I mean, he gets his other check, and I mean, good on him. He's winning on the UFC, but Jesus, and I don't know. Tukagov kind of hard to feel bad for. Like, you missed up a weight class. What are you even doing here? Like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation all the way around. But, yeah, Bisping and Cruz went hard on the judges, which was kind of refreshing to see. Also, those guys speak their mind. They tell you how it is. But we'll keep it pushing here.
Important to note here, too, just for fans at home, this card does start at 7 a.m. their local time, meaning that the fighters actually only had less than 24 hours to rehydrate. Because they still weighed in Friday morning.
Weird. Yeah, weird. Which, Islam's with his IVs, it can be official.
Yeah. Crazy. That's tinfoil, but I'm here for it. We'll get there. But let's keep it pushing. This next fight is super interesting. Features a not hometown, but or the Australian Isles.
Australian boy.
Yeah, Shane Young fighting undefeated Blake Builder. Shane Young is the minus 150 favorite. Builder is plus 130. Honestly, this was a hard fight to bet.
hard fight to bet, hard fight to score, I thought, too,
Yeah.
quite frankly. Builder, yeah, coming off Dana White Contender Series, featherweight. I mean, honestly, that's a sick name, Blake
Yeah.
Builder. And, I mean, this fight was a banger, man. I mean, round one was very close. I thought it was pretty hard to score. I leaned 10-9 Builder. He got that body lock takedown. It was pretty impressive. He just kind of lifted him up, kind of just out-muscled
It
him.
was like some Sean Brady-esque takedown and control
It
style. Like
was.
very much like a blanket, just heavy pressure.
Strong guy. You can
Yeah.
tell he's very strong. He landed a couple hard counters too when they were on the feet. That being said, Young was way more active on the feet. Definitely won the first half of the round. Probably won the damage battle. I don't have a problem with how anybody scored this one. You got to pick a winner. I leaned 10-9 Builder, pretty much a coin flip.
Yeah, I did as well. I didn't think it was as much of a coin flip. I just didn't think Shane Young. He was getting off more shots. I just didn't think he was really connecting anything solid. So I didn't think his
Fair.
damage was very much.
Fair play. I thought round two was close as well. Really, until like the last 45 seconds of the round, I legitimately didn't know who I was going to give the round to. And then at the end of the round, Shane Young kind of has like a flurry of damage that he gets off. Kind of, I thought, tilted the scales, at least how I see it. I went 10-9 Young. Now, Builder seemed to slightly be slowing down. I mean, he was doing those explosive movements in round one, kind of a muscle-bound guy. So you could kind of see it potentially slowing down. He was moving less defensively, having a harder time getting out of the way of the shot. Output slowed. So still did some good work. Still was a close round. I went 10-9 Young.
So I did as well. It was pretty much the story of two halves in the round. Shane Young kind of picked it up through the second half, middle of the second half of the round, whereas Builder started out having a little bit better first half of the round. I thought his movement was better, kind of deteriorated. I think he got a little tired, started to get that juice out of his legs, and Shane Young kind of started to trap him on the cage, get some damage off. And yeah, essentially pretty much was, in my mind, a draw, a tie round with 45 seconds or so to go. Whoever had that bigger flurry at the end was going to win that round, and absolutely Shane Young realized it, achieved that, went for it, won the round because of it on my card.
Also had the better cardio to allow him to step on the gas that end of the round too. I thought was a big factor.
Only one judge gave him that round.
Gave that round to Young?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of wild. Oh yeah, you're right. No, but that is kind of wild. I thought. I mean, it's not that wild. It was a close round.
Close round. But I still like Young. I still like the action Young put in at the end.
Totally, for sure. It was a nice exclamation point to end the round. That was a very close round. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he did enough to like steal. If he was getting his ass whooped, that wouldn't have been enough to win the round.
It wasn't like a steal. It was kind of like a stamp.
For attack. Yes, for sure, man. We saw it the same way. Now, round three was fun as fuck to watch. That's whenever I was like, okay, like we got a fight on our hands, because the first fight there was no like super entertaining moments. I thought this was like the funnest moment of the early prelims, to this point. Fun round. I leaned to Builder. I thought he got more damage off, landed some power shots, and for some reason Young switched to like a takedown heavy approach in round three, which I thought he was having the advantage on the feet. Maybe he thought Builder was gassed and he could take him down, but it was kind of weird to see a guy who had been, in my opinion, winning the battle on the feet most of the fight, kind of get away from where he was having success on this kickboxing range and switch to a takedown heavy approach. Builder was able to pretty much stuff those takedowns, which in turn, short story long, led to him winning the round, in my opinion.
I thought that Builder was, I mean, for the first maybe 3 minutes, it was kind of back and forth, I thought, in the round, with Shane Young probably being ahead. In the last 2 minutes, Builder started landing bombs and just started tagging Shane Young. And that was probably due to the fact that, like you said, Shane Young was shooting for these takedowns, getting stuffed, and then being caught in this weird in-between range where he's standing back up and just eating shots in the pocket.
I thought Young kind of egayed this round. Like, I thought this fight was there for Young to win. He had a path to victory. He had an opponent that was getting tired, and he chose to, Builder, if he showed us anything, is that the guy can wrestle, and I think he has a wrestling background.
Yeah.
And you just decide to just start wrestling, to have a wrestling-heavy game plan in round three. I call that the old egay, in my opinion. Builder did a lot of stuff good, but that kind of fight IQ game plan approach from Shane Young, I kind of got a question, especially from the veteran fighting the guy in his debut. You know what I mean? Like you expect the debut guy to kind of make the mental error. So I don't know. I mean, Shane Young's no world beater, but a veteran in the game and builder. I mean, that's a good debut. That's a good
Good win.
debut win over.
Yeah.
And yeah, he showed some skills. Featherweight, I
Tough
mean,
division.
tough division to rise in, and I don't think he jumped off the screen enough to make me want to just like shovel hella cold. But he has a skill set, and he's strong. He's a brick shit house. He's strong, and you got to work on that cardio, especially in that division. And he's got to, work on just kind of like the pace and the output. But I don't know, definitely showed some things. But we can keep it pushing to Loma Lookboomy and then Elise Reed. This fight was pretty dope.
Fun fight.
It was entertaining fight. Very kind of different styles, although both kind of strikers. Lookboomy minus 330 favorite, which I did think was a little too big. I took it on my 6-legger. Just as like, a parlay. I mean, that's the definition of a parlay builder, right? Minus 330. Elise Reed plus 275, women's strawweight.
That's also a number I don't like, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought the number was too big, even though I took it. I did think the number was too big.
I think 275 is like, I don't like, it's weird. Like, I wouldn't bet on Reed at that value, but I also wouldn't bet on Lookboomy at her value. Like, I felt like these lines were not made to drive any sort of, like, money.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because, I mean, Lookboomy has a good skill set, which she's leveling up, as we'll see in this fight. But, I mean, he has a very Muay Thai-heavy approach. Elise Reed, it was kind of interesting seeing the clash of styles. She had more of, like, a light on her feet, kind of more like, what would you say, finesse striking style,
almost like a taekwondo mixed with judo approach. Like she wanted to either be in really close or bouncing on her feet, kind of sideways away from her.
Yeah, like a samurai sword versus a battle axe. I mean, everything Lookboomy showing
yeah,
big.
that really is what it is. Yeah, I mean,
like a sniper rifle versus a howitzer. Like it's precision versus just.
Well, and usually Muay Thai, I feel like Muay Thai usually beats up taekwondo.
Oh yeah, and Muay Thai fighters are willing to take one to give one.
And I think in the first 3 minutes of this fight, Lookboomy was kind of beating up Reed, but then Reed was able to get that takedown and change the pace of the fight. I ended up scoring round 1-2 Reed for that.
Me too. I was definitely a comeback because at the start of the round, Lookboomy was beating that ass, busted her nose, was destroying
had her
leg.
leaking.
Yeah, had her leak.
Oh yeah, the bruise in the leg was brutal too.
Like all within like the first 2 minutes of the fight. So, but I mean, so you could argue Lookboomy won the damage battle, but like I said, Reed was able to get the reversal, take the bag, which Lookboomy decided to take it to the ground, then got reversed, which was kind of a bad look when she was having success on the feet. Kind of bad fight IQ there a little bit. And then Reed got some ground and pound damage off, took her back. I don't know, so it ended the round. I mean, that's a pretty convincing way to end a round in a close round. So, yeah, we both saw it for Reed. I thought that was interesting. I was interested to see if you did as well. So
yeah,
we both saw it the same way.
I think every judge did as well.
And then at the start of the second round, really interesting, Lookboomy decided to take it back to the ground. Now, granted, I think it wasn't so much a decision as like a reaction. You could tell she had drilled this a lot and was just kind of reacting on the fly, which is what you want to see from a fighter, right? You always say you don't want them thinking, you want them doing, right? I mean, all sports pretty much have some version of that saying. It's true. When you're competing, athletically, you don't want to be thinking. It slows you down. So she ducked under. What I'm getting at, she ducked under that punch. It wasn't really like a wrestling takedown, but she ducked under the punch and took the bat.
Yeah, it's kind of wrapped her back
real quick. Yeah, within 20 seconds of the round starting, it was real.
And then for some reason, it seemed like Reed tried to drop to a knee to get out of it, which was the weirdest reaction.
Pretty much took herself down.
Right.
Pretty much took herself
down. I didn't feel like Lookboomy really took her down. Like it seemed like Reed.
It's hard to call it a takedown.
Right.
Hard to call it a takedown.
It was one of the weird things I noticed. I was like, why did she just do that? Because then the hooks came in, the arms came around the neck. She sunk in that choke quick, man.
She sunk in the choke quick, and that was her first ever career submission. Even pre-UFC.
She was stoked about it too.
She's a Muay Thai fighter, and like I said, you could tell it was training. She had drilled that duck under. You can tell, because if you think about it, it didn't make sense for Lookboomy to try to take. The last time she got her on the ground, she got reversed. She's winning on the feet. Her corner probably just told her to not take it to the ground. If I had to guess, I don't speak Thai, but if I'm in her corner, that's what I'm telling her. And so, that's what I'm saying. It was very reaction. She just ducked under. It worked out for her. She sunk in the choke. It looked good, but I just I don't think anybody. I mean, Luke Boomy by sub had to be like plus 1,000. I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
I can't imagine. I mean, here I have best fight odds. We can see what the odds were real fast. And I mean, we do have one more fight we'll get to after this, but and I will say this last fight was probably my favorite one on the prelims. Would you agree, or did you see it differently?
Like including the regular prelims.
Oh, no, on the early prelims.
Oh, on the early prelims. Oh, yeah, just because of the level. I think it was the highest level fight on the early prelims by like a pretty wide margin.
Look with me by submission plus 1,400.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally, I was trying to do hyperbole and I didn't go high enough. I said plus 1,000, trying to be like dramatic, and it was plus 1,400. But yeah, I mean, Logan Movie, not known for her subs. So, I mean, yeah, great performance. I mean, first career sub. And like, it wasn't really fluky. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was well drilled. It was well executed. Like, it was very like instinctual. Like, people say like, oh, I'm rounding out my game, but like she kind of like put her money where her mouth is. Like,
by the way, Dana, stingy with the bonuses.
Stingy with the bonuses, yeah, stingy with the bonuses for sure. I mean, yeah, there's multiple people on this that fought on this card that could have got bonuses that did not. So I did agree with that. But let's keep it pushing here to Jack Jenkins, Don Shanis, because I mean,
banger of a fight.
Banger of a fight. I mean, stud young prospect, like exciting, like probably got to bust out some shovels. And
I got a guy Jack Jenkins reminds me very much of.
Okay, we got Jack Jenkins minus 390, so Vegas is putting the respect on the name. Taking on Don Shanis, veteran featherweight. And we'll get straight to, I mean, so Jenkins, he's known for snapping people's legs with calf kicks. And it's like, you do it once, it's kind of fluky, whatever. You do it twice, it's a little weird. He's done it, I think, 3 times. So, like, that's, like, not even debatable. Like, that's like a weapon. He will literally snap.
Bro, they're nasty. Shanis was eating them.
And you're hearing Bisping and Cruz and the boys talking about this, and you're like, all right, this sounds like some, like, Bo Jackson, like, legendary shit. And then you see him throw a leg kick, and you're like, God damn, yeah, I just break someone's leg. Seriously. And then, I mean, credit to Shanis, because, I mean, he got shins of steel. They weren't breaking his legs. He was eating them low-key. But
they were marking him up. They were marking him up, too.
He wasn't, like, letting it really affect his movement. I mean, he started to check a couple.
Bro, you know his leg hurt, though, at the end of the fight.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. Fucking dog, though.
Yo, you dog.
Tell by looking at it.
Dog, for sure. But, I mean, honestly, I thought Jenkins was landing good body work, too. Like, good combos to the body. He was ripping, like, 1-2 to the head, then, like, a 3-4 body, and then finishing with a calf kick. Like, he was hitting these sick combos.
Yeah, with the calf kick, yeah.
And you know who he looked a lot like? He's probably 10 pounds lighter, obviously, but he looks like Justin Gaethje. Because he rips these combos, gets in close, and then rips these hard chopping leg kicks from this in-tight range.
I like the Gaethje comparison, yeah, because it's very... It's a very heavy. Everything's heavy. Everything is like well put together.
It's like violently well timed.
Just like high level, right? Like when you're watching it, especially against like the caliber of opponent like a Don Shanis, who's like he's been around the block, like he knows what he's doing in there.
Yeah.
And you're just seeing this like high level techniques, long combinations being strung together, just damaging blows. Like it just looks different. It looks high level. It looks dangerous. It looks like this is going to translate very well up the food chain.
Right. Like it seems like his skill set is pretty elite. You know what I mean? Everything is sharp. Yeah. There's not a lot of fat on anything he was throwing. It was all in tight. He was able to kind of move off the center line and dodge Shanis's big strikes when he was moving in. I really like Jack Jenkins off this fight.
I like him a lot, man. Like I think he's a prospect.
That being said, I mean, Don Shanis did not quit at any point in this fight.
No, but it is that classic example, the cliche fight announcer, like, well, when we're having to mention your toughness, it's usually not a good thing. Like it was a classic example.
And he did hit 2 low blows on Jenkins, both at the start.
Yeah, one in the
first and second. And he did. I like how Herzog handled it. He was like, look, the next one, accidental or not, even if you graze it, I'm taking a point.
You know, I thought the point should have been taken on the second one. It didn't look that accidental to me. The second one looked like I'm getting beat up and I'm going to kick this guy in the nuts. Like it wasn't the most accidental I've seen. I'll put it that way. I'm not saying it was like Like I don't know, bro. Like, I would have been totally fine with the penalty taken on the second one. Like seriously, but round two was a banger, and Shayna's it was more competitive. Shayna's did get more offense off, and Jack Jenkins showed how well rounded he is. He was able to get the takedown, the control, and it wasn't like the takedown and the control techniques were like just as high level as the striking techniques. Like I was impressive, dude. Like everything the guy fucking did looked fucking high level and impressed the fuck out of me.
You know what else stood out too is at the end of the second round, whenever he got put in got taken down and probably mounted for about a minute. Defended pretty well, ate maybe 2 elbows on the ground, got up, and then like went into berserker mode for the last 20 seconds, got his own takedown, and then beat the hell out of Sheamus. I was like, holy shit. Like, he seems super powerful for 145.
Cardio checks that box too. Like, to be able to like fucking let your NOS tank go like 4.5 minutes into the second round, like, and then be fine in the third round.
Yeah, I thought he stole it right back at the end, honestly, because I was like, oh, Sheamus could make a case in the second round, and then that last 20 seconds, I was like, nope, Jenkins just sealed it.
Seems like a plus athlete too. Like, how many boxes this guy gonna check? Like, has a special move like the nuclear calf kick. Yeah. The fucking well-roundedness can take you down and keep you there.
Good striking defense, good movement, cardio.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just impressed the fuck out of me to the point where I thought round 3 was a 10-8. But it was a close 10-8. Like, it would be like an 8.9 or like an 8.9 on like the verdict scoring. Because here's my logic to that.
I feel like because he dominated and he did a little bit of damage. It wasn't the most damage. That's where you're going to get kind of...
I'll be real. The head kick knocked it from like 9.1 to 8.9 because he got the 2 takedowns. The control time was getting ground and pound off. So like it was a firm 10-9. And then they stand up and he lands on a lot of guys fight-ending head kick with like towards the end of the round. I'm like, you know what? I'll give him a 10-8 for that if no one else will. Like, fuck it. Like, I don't know. I like the work, man. I like the work.
I can't wait to see he scored the main event. That's neither here nor there. I scored at 10-9. Although I did say that Jenkins put a stamp on his 10-9 at the end, which I guess kind of alludes to it being like a dominant 10-9. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I see where you're at. I'm not even mad at it. You're at 30-26. I had it 30-27. One Captain Insano judge gave Sheamus the second round, and it was 29-28. But a unanimous decision all the same for Jenkins here. Honestly, a dope fight to wrap up the early prelims. I loved this.
No, it was fun. It was sick. And like I said, I mean, stock way up in Jack Jenkins to the point where I don't want to spend a ton of time, but I do want to look at the featherweight rankings and see like where does he stack up with some featherweights? Like,
all right, I got him right here. So 11 through 15 is going to be Bryce Mitchell, Sadiq Youssef, Dan Ige, Edson Barbosa, and Alex Caceres. I think Caceres could be put on notice by Jack Jenkins any day.
When Barbosa's washed, Ige is Ige. Youssef kind of shuts me up, but I'm still not all in on him. And Mitchell looked hella vulnerable in his last outing. So it's like, I don't think that, I'm not saying Jack Jenkins beats all those guys, but I think a fight's competitive as fuck with all those guys, and he's right there in that caliber. I don't think he's outclassed or shouldn't be in the octagon or couldn't protect himself against those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
he's about there.
I like Jack Jenkins a lot moving forward.
That's fun, dude. That's fun. But yeah, we can get, so that wraps up the early prelims, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that'll wrap up the early prelims. We got 4 prelim fights coming at you next. Honestly, some gassed up prelims. They featured Tyson Pedro and the return of Modestas Bukauskas, who, if you remember, got his knee blown out by Khalil Roundtree with the front oblique kick. That is him. That is tough. Ooh. I forgot too until they showed the highlight, and I was like, you guys don't need to show this ever to anyone.
Back sharp. Came back sharp. Also got Jamie Malarkey coming up, who I don't know. I like the way he fights.
Fighting undefeated prospect Francisco Prado. You got Culibao fighting Melsik Bagdasarian, each of them having 1 loss in a fire-ass matchup. And then you got, Clejason Rodriguez fighting...
Shannon Ross.
Ross.
That was probably the fight that I was probably least high on the prelims, but still, it wasn't a bad fight. We got a
Oh, we're going to be
6 minutes
high on
out
the
of it. So,
fight by the time we talk about it. I'll give you
yes,
that
sir.
little
So
teaser, but we'll see you guys here in about 35 seconds. We'll be back soon.
just like and subscribe.